Now, when it comes to being a pro, no. As a pro, he'd have to go to the dark side. Just saying. Sorry. What is up? It's your boy Johnny Shreve, IFBB Pro, Mr. Tell Like It Is. Welcome back to the episode of Straight Talk with Shreve. Today, guys, we're going to talk about Jesse James' last competition at Christian Guzman's Summer Shred Challenge that Jesse won class physique and men's physique. Guys, I'm going to talk about 4 things. We're going to talk about what he did very well, where he fell short, what things he needs to do to improve immediately, and we're going to talk about his genetic potential as a bodybuilder moving forward if he decides to continue to compete. Is he men's physique or is he classic physique? What's he best for? Guys, I am a qualified judge, I am a coach, and I'm currently 3 weeks out from the Master Olympia and I'm competing anabolic free. So guys, I'm going to give my 2 cents as a coach as well too on what I just mentioned. Anyway guys, let's get into it. So what he did really well, what I believe he did really well is, number one, he followed through. He did already before, but last show he said, he only had a lot of time and he kind of like zinged through it. This one, he was that much more prepared. What he did well is he beat his last self. Every prep that you go through, it's going to be a completely different experience. They remember you by how good you did at your last show, and Jesse leveled up from his last show. Number one, he did that very well. 2, he came in with great conditioning, better than before. Obviously, he was much more well prepared, but his conditioning was very good. Now, guys, we're going to talk about other things too as well when it comes to his overall, what he brought to the stage in terms of conditioning, muscularity, balance. As a natural bodybuilder, he did very well with that. So let's talk about his posing, where he went really, really well with posing. Now, he did 2 classes. He did men's physique and class physique. So we're going to go men's physique first. We're going to watch his posing. Now, what he did well was very, very confident. Hit his pose. He's not bouncing around too much. He's got great abs, absolutely great abs. His lats are engaged. He's got a very relaxed look right now, and that's what judges like, and that's why he definitely won, is because his confidence. He did that very well. Jesse has very good confidence. He's very confident when he does anything, and it showed very well through his posing. Yes, you can definitely tell Jesse has better oval conditioning, big old chest, great abs, great obliques, great lats, posing very well, sitting on the sideline while the other guy's out. He did that very well, kept poised, he kept his core engaged. These are things that if you're competing for the first time, it's something you need to start doing right away, like Jesse's doing, second time, but you continue to build on to those skills. Look how good his ab control is. You can see he's breathing, but he is obviously did the work to make sure that his core stays engaged the entire time and his abs are showing the entire time. Good on you. Absolutely awesome. So 217 very close. So what Jesse also did really well is, I've seen people literally lose spots. I'm talking like go from could have been first to like 3rd place because they weren't glazed. Jesse did a good job of making sure he crossed off all the boxes. When you go to compete, I said this before, somebody made a comment about, how my conditioning is this far out. I'm like, listen, it's not about what you look like 3 weeks out. It's what you look like on the stage. After you've been depleted, then you've carved up, and then you're dry, and then you're glazed, and you're posing, you pumped up, you're under the lights. All those things you take advantage of, and that's when you're actually ready. What Jesse did very well was, he's on stage, his tan is really good. His coloring is really good. He is glazed. You can see the guy beside him. He's not glazed. That could have helped that guy out. When you get glazed, when you rub oil on, for you guys who have no clue what's really going on, when you get glaze is that shiny stuff, right? You get a tan base first. The guy on the left side has a tan, right? They both have tans, good color. What makes Jesse stand out is the glazes you get on before you get on stage. Now, I'm a coach. When I'm backstage with my athletes, I do it myself. The backstage tanning, businesses, they do it, and then I make sure they go on stage and they're glazed even over, because what it does is it makes your muscles pop. It makes the light shine down better. It makes the light bring out the illusion that much better. The cuts are deeper. The shadow casting is better and more consistent throughout. So Jesse did an absolutely great job with him and his coach and making sure that every time he came out, when he was out, that he had all those boxes checked. Right, core still there. You can even tell. Look at Jesse. While he's relaxed, his core is on. Where the other guys relax, second. Look, that's second place. That could be the difference between first and second. Tan, glaze, core control, right? Stage presence, all those things. Jesse did very well. Jesse was prepared for this. I got a lot. I watch Jesse's stuff, like, you know what I mean, and you know he's one of the most entertaining fitness YouTubers that are out there. But this gave me that much more respect for Jesse because I am a bodybuilder, and when I see influencers act like they're bodybuilders, you know what I mean, like that last show he did, and he was like, "I'm gonna do 8 weeks." I was like, "Oh," but this one he did it the right way, followed through, you know, took this prep on like he was a professional, and you can see it. Stage presence, his core control, I'm gonna say this over and over again. These are all things that he did very well. So what could he have done? Where could he have went better with men's physique? I think his first men's physique, I think he did everything he needed to do very, very well. I think that you could always come in tighter. You can always come in a little drier. You know, those are like small things for that class specifically, for that look. I think he nailed it 100%. I think the only thing you can do from there is just keep building onto his physique. You know, where can I see him leveling up right away in men's physique? You know, I would say if you look at his overall physique, let's get him in a nice front pose. Boom. So let's get in this front pose here. So in this front pose, I'm looking at him where he can immediately get better and show a lot, like where he can immediately level up. For you guys watching, his upper chest. Jesse's got a really good chest. Like he's got a big chest, you know, wide clavicles, right? What's really good about this is he's got good shape. Now, what he needs to do is you can see a little bit of the pec minor and the anterior delt. He needs to work on that right across the top to build that up. So when you're doing this pose, you see it more in the pose. And when it comes to condition, again, guys, I'm saying, look, for this class, look, his abs are great. Core is great. Obliques, absolutely amazing. Intercostals, awesome. Where he can be leaner from this pose for sure, he can definitely be leaner in the arms, you know, right straight down. But again, that's where he can get better, where he can improve right away, bring his upper chest up, and he's rocking. When I coach, for the most part, when it comes down to it, if you could basically cut from here 360 all the way around, basically you're hitting pec minor, anterior delt, lateral head, you know, teres or the wider part, right? Your back, basically, your rear delts, you're all the way around. That and enhancing it to go this way is always going to be the goal as you compete and as you keep enhancing your physique over. You're just trying to enhance that V-taper. If you look at Jesse right away, he's got absolutely great back. His lower lats are great. Now he needs to continue those lats to go out to those side delts, guys. So to improve immediately, anterior head, pec minor, bigger side lateral delts, coming drier. He's money. Now, where I see Jesse as a men's physique right now, he looks like a men's physique competitor, obviously, right? He's got, you know, we're going to talk about his classic physique, but right now, as men's physique, he looks completely natural. He's got a good look, good looking dude, good smile, you know, great abs. Like that's one, like if you don't have nice abs, if you do not have nice abs, intercostal, don't try and do men's physique. You can kind of hide it in classic physique by doing like, you know, vacuums and whatnot. But again, for him, this looks like the class for him. He just continues to work on this. And I think he can be a very good men's physique competitor. I think he can actually go and do some NPC shows and do fairly well as a men's physique competitor, natural as well too. I believe that completely. Now, when it comes to being a pro, no. As a pro, he'd have to go to the dark side. Anyway, let's move on to classic physique. So, what did he do well with classic physique? So again, like obviously his conditioning is going to be the exact same. But when it comes to men's physique and classic physique, there are different criteria for both. There's a level of hardness and dryness that classic physique needs a little more than men's physique. right? And then we're getting judged on everything. You know, you're still getting judged on everything when it comes to classic, when it comes to men's physique. You're getting judged on the legs. You 100% get judged on legs. If you have board shorts on and skinny little legs, tiny legs, and you can't see, you can still see the hamstrings, the glutes, and the quads in the shorts. If you do not have legs, you will get marked down. Judges do see and mark your legs in men's physique. Do not get it twisted. All right, so let's talk about his classic physique. And again, guys, I'm looking at this from this lens. This is not accurate whatsoever. You will never see exactly the judges see when they're 6 feet in front of the guys in person. Doesn't matter how good the camera is, you are missing a lot when you're watching from here. So I can only speculate this entire thing. But I'm watching him as is. Where did he go well? Again, enthusiasm, confidence, you need that. Preparation, all of that. You know what I mean? He did all that he needed to do to come on stage. I tell a lot of people, do not try and hire me at 12 weeks out for your first show. Like, you can if you want. You can. But don't come to me at 12 weeks out and this is your first show and you got muscle to grow, a lot of fat to lose, and you got to learn how to pose, right? That is one of the hardest things to do. If you're coming for your first show 12 weeks out, you better be like already in, not in shape, but like you already better have like a good art, you know, you can already pose pretty well. You know, you already have a good level of muscle and whatnot. Because when it comes to prep is just refining all the things you did in the off season. Prep isn't for learning how to pose for the first time, right? It's refining your posing throughout. Prep isn't about putting on a bunch of muscle. It's about sustaining muscle or maybe building a little bit into prep. A little bit, but more so sustaining it. Prep isn't about losing 50 pounds of fat. So when it comes down to it, if it's your first show and you do not know how to pose, you do not really know what class you should be in, you have a significant amount of fat to lose, and you have a lot of holes in your physique in terms of muscularity, start way in advance. I'm talking start 6 months before 12 to 16 weeks out for a show. What he did well was all what I said. He prepped, he put on the muscle, he's conditioned, the amount of fat he had to lose. He's in great shape because he wasn't very heavy in the off season, right? So he did really well. What he did also well too is his ab control. Phenomenal. Now his posing, I'm gonna give his posing a B minus. His posing is a B minus. You guys, listen, it's bodybuilding. I am a really good poser. I can pose. I won best poser when I won my pro card. I coach. Posing was my thing. I will 100% be critique. A B minus for me is very, very, very good. His ab control, his ability to keep his lats engaged, his ability to be fluent through his poses and continue to keep his core engaged is phenomenal. He did the work to be able to go in here and hit the poses at, for me, which is a B minus. An A plus is Rough and Diesel, right? Ruffin is an A plus. I would say myself would be an A minus. An A minus for sure. And I'm still making 100% A minus. And we'll talk about it later. Anyway, so he worked on his posing and he's doing it well, right? This is why he did really well, is because of the preparation he put in. That's what he did great. Where he fell short, I don't say fell short more so than, I would say conditioning from the back a little bit in the hamstrings. I'm nitpicking. Let me give you a point of view. Jesse James is competing naturally. I'm competing, I can't say natural because I've been on gear before, but I'm competing anabolic enhancement free. Getting to that conditioning that I was before, I wouldn't say easier. But it was easier. Huh? It was easier. You still have to do the cardio and do the work and do the suffering in terms of calories and whatnot, but it showed up very easily by just being like, all right, let's add this, yoink, little cleanse, T3, G-dub, blah, 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 boom, there you go, because it just exacerbates your results from your cardio. So I can understand that getting to the level of like shredded glutes as a natural competitor is hard. Not that you can't do it. You 100% can. It's just harder. He is, I would say, conditioning. And again, we got to judge this as classic physique. I'm not judging this as men's physique. I'm judging this as classic physique. Classic physique, he fell short in his conditioning from the back. He still won the show, but he could have been leaner in the back. He is about 2 weeks out from the back, and squeezes and then engaging his glutes a little more from the back, right? And it's pretty. Sometimes it's tough when you do a back pose in men's physique and a back pose in classic physique. Your hips are going the opposite way. In men's physique, you're pushing your butt out. You're almost doing like a donkey butt, like a twerk, right? In classic physique, like bodybuilding, you're squeezing your glutes, right? That's what you can see, like the the glute serrations, right? So it could, maybe that's hard for him going back and forth from that, but I can tell that it's not squeezed as much in this. But again, conditioning again from here, you can tell, see from the side here, when it comes to posing, like again, he did well posing, right? Where he fell short, I would say, is just conditioning. Where can he improve immediately? Now this is where I was talking about earlier about his physique. You can see very well in this pose how it kind of sinks in a bit in his front lat spread. So his men's physique posing, he's, like I said, B-. He knows how to, like, if he had more time posing, if he did another show next year, his posing would be absolutely amazing. That's how far he is right now. Where he can improve immediately, his chest. You can see right here in his anterior head, you can see the anterior head of his delt. Goes a little higher, and you can see how it kind of caves in by his collarbone right here, and then you see kind of dips in. He improves there right away from the front, and then from the side pose, from his side chest, work on the hamstrings. Those hamstrings drop even more. His rear delts are pretty good. You know, his posing again, like, you can create that much more of an illusion by getting his shoulders that much more squared to the audience. You want to look like a V in every pose you do, just like your quarter turns. You can see from like I said, from his mandatory poses from his back, he stays a little more softer from the back. He fell short there, right? I won't say fall short, but he can get better in conditioning there. Everybody can. His posing from the front, like I said, his muscularity from his chest, his hamstrings, he's got some great biceps. His posing, instead of being here, and most people do this because that's the easiest way for them to really get their lats engaged, but you want to be here, right? So I'm kind of like leaning down. When you do your pose, you want to be here, not like this. You almost want to be able to touch your head. You should be able to just touch your head like this, right? So his posing, his biceps are great. You know, his lats can pop a little more. Did a great job from there. Like I said, he did a good job. He got with, he had a good coach. He has got a spectacular, bodybuilding coach that can direct him. He looks like he was really coached this show. Again, guys, when it comes to where does his physique bring him, I think he has a better shot of being a men's physique competitor and go far with it until he brings up his other, his hamstrings and his chest. Again, his chest for the same class of physique and men's physique will have to get better. But overall, Jesse James has went up a couple notches in my book, 100%. I got mad respect for him for following through, for bringing a better package, for being a better bodybuilder than last time. That is exactly all you need to be. Is you need to just, even though he won overall here, he beat his last physique, and that's the win, no matter what. So any guys out there that are competing for the first time, or even just competing, and you may have not got the places you wanted, or even if you won, bodybuilding is about being better than you were the last time you were on stage. You beat your last physique, you will always win, no matter what placing you have, as long as you're better than you were the last time. Just remember that. Jesse James, I think, is an absolutely amazing bodybuilder. He's got a great future ahead of him. I think he should do men's physique instead of classic physique. I think he can improve in classic physique. I think he had a good time posing there as well too. You guys can maybe disagree with me. That's completely fine. I'm a judge. You're a judge. It's subjective. This is bodybuilding, right? Again, guys, I think he did an awesome, amazing job, and hopefully he does another one, and it'll be great to see him do another show and see how he improves. But anyway, till next time, guys, I'm 3 weeks out for the Masters Olympia. Hopefully I'll be able to bring in my best, better than my last as well too. And until next time, guys, you know how it is. Iron sharpens iron. Progressive overload your life. In the meantime, keep dream chasing. Peace.